Man, we're live. Who all did I catch off guard being more than on time today? Got a bunch in here already. Who all is here? I gotta really scroll back on the comments to see who all was here. Yeah, Lars was here early, and Unfinished Project, and the one-eyed cat Don. Boy, his comments go way back. There's people in here at 4 o'clock. Buff Del Campo and Busted Radio was here earlier. Hope they'll come back. Let's see, Levi's Backyard Performance. Glad you could make it. JB's Little Shop, Dakota. Tony's Hot Rod Garage. Danny Boyd. I'm just now caught up to 45 minutes ago. Who all else is here? Welcome all of you. Twisted Mopar Dennis. J-Bo is here. Old McDonald has a car. Dean Stevenson. Coke talking about picking through a junk pile. I have no idea who that one's for, but okay. Robert Magny is here. Where are we with the truck, Robert? Heavens Mopars, Colleen Tebow. Dust Devil Garage. How's it going, Brian? Slant Daily. No sound. Why would you not have any? We have sound, right? I was going to say. Everything looks kosher here. I'd had 28 people telling me I didn't have sound. Hey, my mom is here. Pure Pontiac Garage. Junkyard D. Old McDonald just got back from putting one of the No Name Nationals decals on my truck. So Greg McDonald won one of these, or he won a pair of these. So, yeah, sometimes we do fun giveaways. Turbo Tom 416, glad you could be here. Sherry Marie, how's it going? Wendy English. All right, looks like we're pretty well caught up. Well, cool. Glad you guys could make it. Got 34 in here. Just a social live tonight. Thought it would be fun. I blocked this time off for you guys, and we've got fun stuff coming. Yeah, Busted Radio. Someone started early. I got to keep them on my toes because they always let me know when I start 1 minute late. When I start 1 minute late, they act like I've held the trains up from running or something. So, you know, I'm used to being late on the tree. Sometimes I got a red light. Just balances things out. There's Bad Tree Productions Blake. Glad you're here, man. Just feels more like the live has really started when Blake gets here and rallies the heathens. Mohawk is here. And J-Bo's been in here. He's just been hanging out. This is like the old guy's lounge. The latecomer is always best dressed. Well, I'm here early and I'm wearing a t-shirt, so how about that? I used to dress really nice, and now I don't care. When I work for somebody else's company, I dress the way they would want me to. Work for my own company, I dress the way I want to. JB's got a bonfire. Well, cool. How is everybody? We doing any fun stuff today or anything like that? I think I'm going to do a Halloween themed live next week. I think that would be fun. What do you think? I think I might do something like that. We'll see what's what. I think that would be a fun one to do. Don't know exactly how I'll do it yet either. Danny Boyd went to the junkyard. Well, I'm telling you what, I would rather have a cold, rainy day in the junkyard where I find cool stuff than a warm day and not. Tall garage. Ken's sneaked in here. Imagine that, a guy 6'6" sneaking in anywhere. But I guess in the internet that can happen. Yeah, I'm telling you what, I miss going to the junkyard. My favorite one was in Tazewell, Virginia, which is about 100 miles from here, but it's only about 20 miles from where I'm from. And that junkyard was off the hook. It was great. All kinds of old Mopars. It hurts to even think of all the stuff that I know got crushed in there. Dean Stevenson's old Kentucky pastor said, got to watch it if you dress smart because people will expect you to act sharp too. Well, sharp and smart are two different things. You can dress sharp and be an idiot. I mean, you know. Yeah, Ken looks like he's making a lot of headway on that 306 build with the LS head. Be fun to hear that run. Tony's Hot Rod Garage is disassembling a PTO unit. Yeah, that's fun. I've never actually worked on the PTO unit or anything like that. Levi's going to be at PRI all 3 days. I haven't made any plans to go to PRI. I'm not saying I won't. I mean, I guess I could. Corporate offices full of sharp-pressed idiots. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there are people who dress really sharp who are highly intelligent too. Brian Beeler says, hi, John and everyone. Well, hey, how's it going, Brian Beeler? Busted Radio will be at PRI all weekend. Well, that's cool. Now, you can't do burnouts on the show floor, Chris. Well, I mean, you might be able to once. Just saying. The escape hatch is over the one section with the big garage. So you got to plan your escape route early. Corporate offices suck. Yes, they do. Well, hey, if you do it once, Chris, if you do it, well, I'm not saying you should, but if you do it once, film it from every angle and get your money's worth out. It's a 1 million+ view video, that's for sure. Yeah, Levi says all video. Everybody there will video it. The question is who will get it from the start? I remember when I was there last year, you had the machinery row where everybody's watching the honing machines, and it was so funny. There were a line of guys watching this honing machine, and if you watched them closely, they were watching the honing machines. I think it would take a burnout to break any of their concentration from that. There's Dude Mopar. See, that's so funny because I did not see Dude Mopar come in here, but I saw him in the chat and I scroll back up and he's there. That's just part of what comes with working off a StreamYard. Robert Bagdy's getting really close to what? Because a project needs to have perpetual life. So don't say it's finished, just say running. Backwoods Custom Crap is here. How's it going? Good seeing you guys in Sykeston. Dude Mopar, I was really digging that B-body you brought. I thought that was just a sweet, no frills, all business ride. It ran good and it was cool. I like that. Battery Productions. Are you the wiper motor broker for Dude Mopar? Andy from Unity Motorsports Garage is here. Well, howdy, Andy. How's it going? Dude Mopar said it underachieved. Yeah, I'd like to think that anything that doesn't run its record is underachieving to some extent. Is it underachieving by 0.0001 or is it underachieving by 80%? That's the question. As long as you're having fun, it's all good, right? Have fun. Don't hurt anybody. Be a good neighbor. It's all just good, right? Master of None Garage is going to make it next year with my wide body 4-door hardtop 67 Caprice. Rock on, man. I'm assuming you're talking about the No Name Nationals, and I plan to announce it probably the last Friday of the year. So it's approximately New Year's Eve, but whatever that last Friday is, more than likely. Twisted Mopar says, I'm always underachieving. I can tell you, it's amazing when we think about it, the amount of potential that in one area, we'll figure out one little area where we unlock how much more potential we have and say, wow, there's all this potential that I got out of myself through training and all this. And it's like, now there's all these other areas. How much more do I have to go? So it's just a lifelong quest of learning and improving. And anyway, just cool like that. Old McDonald has a car is asking Andy if ghost season almost here. I hope so. Blake is watching the kids play Mario Kart. I'm assuming Mario Kart. That sounds more like the Bad Tree Speed. Andy's taking Casper to a car show tomorrow. Drive down the value of the other cars by 25%. And yet, Andy, you're going to roll up to a car that's really shiny and pretty and good enough for that crowd. And yet the crowd is going to be around your truck, and you know it. The crowd will be around your truck. They've seen enough pretty GTOs that live in a vacuum case 348 days a year. Twisted Mopar, so I learned all I can. I retired. That's the spirit. See, I got it figured out so I can learn for a lifetime. I can never retire. How's that? Evans Mopar, Scott, anyone able to get a big box of car parts up to Milwaukee from Harrisonville, Missouri? I can give up to $150. So is anybody going from wherever? Where is that in Missouri, Evans Mopars? I'll look it up real quick. We got Scott with a hookup on getting a roof transported. Maybe we can do the same for this. So now I'm going to look it up and find out. Let's see where that is. That's a big state. And there's a big difference from one corner to the other. Okay, so Harrisonville looks like it's just southeast of Kansas City. So let's do that route. And I'll show people. All right. And it's trying to. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to know where it is from my house because I'm not going to be the one doing that. Still trying to do it. Anyway, to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There we go. 8.5 hours. And that's what it looks like right there. Although it's going the wrong direction, Scott. Looks to me like, why would you want to send it way north and east when it needs to go way north and west? I guess that's your cutoff point, but I get it. Robert Magny has been building this truck, and I mean, he's doing paint and all. Like, he's serious. Good looking truck. Good looking color. What color is that, Robert? Almost looks like muscle car Tour Red. It's about a 8.5, 9 hour drive, right? Heavens Mopars. There's T's Good Time Garage. How's it going? Yeah, it is a good looking truck. He's doing great with that thing. Got some high end stuff going on there. That's a nice looking truck. Robert, you and the truck going to make it out to Sykeston next year? Presumably, if we have, it's the only gauge we have, because I mean, you know, we've not committed to anything or anywhere yet, but I've gotten so used to that. It's like the only placeholder we have to know where we're going to be. That still makes that shade of red. It looks like Tour Red, like the muscle car color coat. T needs a nap, but otherwise doing great. Yep. I've been going all day. Robert says it's listed as True Red, but it looks like Viper Red. I don't know. We will definitely be out next year, right on. Well, you're just in Oklahoma, right? I don't know where in Oklahoma. I don't remember where you are exactly in Oklahoma, but it'd be pretty cool if you could carpool up with Bondo Billy. He said the thing that's holding him back is being able to make those drives, is just seeing to drive. I think he's literally quit driving altogether now. It's got to wait till normal time at this point. Yeah, if I don't stay up too late messing around in the office, I'll do okay without a nap. If I don't, I usually crash out for a little bit. I haven't today. Blanchard, Oklahoma. 15 minutes from Norman and Oklahoma City. Well, Billy's in Oklahoma City. Be pretty cool if we could catch him some wheels for next year. Torque Racing Production in the house, hey fellers. Torque Racing Production put up a community post where he is caging his car. The Reaper is getting a cage and a window net, and he's taking out the back seat. And for some reason, it bothers him having no upholstery back there or nothing back there. I suggested he put the Grinch back there that he drug around all over the burnout pit. What say you guys? Go check out Roland's community post and let him know. Wrong answers only. Don was hoping for a power nap. Yeah, right on. Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly, Rich Rusnick. Can you guys see Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly's comment? If you can't, you need to switch to live chat instead of top chat. Top chat means that you're letting the YouTube censors decide who they want to not display. Heavens Mopar says it's going to Jason Falk with indirect connection, coming to his place to pick up a Dart Sport. Dart Sport. Yes, Dart Sport is the right answer. Roland said he's had a suggestion for a flux capacitor, likes the idea. Okay. What was your mile per hour in the eighth, Roland? Buffdale Campos says, Kim and I are here. She's driving. We just bought an engine. No, you're not here. You're there. Just bought an engine. What kind of engine did you get, Buff? AutoZone sells one. That's cool. Oh, so, sometimes content jumps out at me and says, I need to watch this. Busted Radio Garage had a video today where he's filling up his truck for 38 cents. He had fuel points, rewards points from shopping at Advance Auto that he can redeem at Shell stations. And this Shell station owner didn't know, didn't care, or something. And he came out and threw an unholy fit at Chris for filling up his truck for 38 cents. Sounds like it got interesting. That was that's a neat video. Check that out. Yeah, I mean, I've never even thought about that. I usually get some good money off at Kroger every month. You can save up your fuel points. You can get up to 35 gallons, up to $1 a gallon off. I get the $1 a gallon and I get all 35 gallons. I have 7 5-gallon cans just for that. And that way, and you think about it, that's a lot of fuel. That's $1 off, 35 gallons. That's 35 times 12. So was that $374 a year that it's just free just for going over there and getting it because you're going to shop for groceries anyway. Yeah, Tony. It's funny. There's a lot of people in this chat that owner, and Chris is one of them. There's a lot of people in this chat that owner would have just picked the wrong person. He would have lost a luck lottery going out. I can't imagine him going out and trying to shut the pump off on me. It would not have gone over well at all. But Chris didn't. He wasn't having any of it. So, and Chris even said he had to repossess the receipt out of the guy's hand. So style points for that. Oh, so this was great. It just reminded me of something. I used to do mortgage inspections for the banks, mostly Wells Fargo. This has been a long time ago. And I went to this house, and the people were there. I pull up in the driveway. I have to take a picture, then note a few things. This guy came out, and he took the paper from me that I had in my hand on his house. And he was a real jerk. I'm like, I'm just doing my job. The guy was a real jerk. I left. Years later, I don't know how many years into the future it was, but years later, this woman shows up at this meeting I was in. I was on a board for this local nonprofit. And this woman comes up and gives a presentation to the board. I'm thinking, where have I seen her before? Where have I seen her before? And then near the end of the presentation, it hit me. That was the wife that was there. And yeah, it didn't do any favors for my thinking of how it would be like to work with those people. So, yeah. You never know where that kind of stuff's going to come back. Yeah, Chris, we were just talking about you repossessing your own receipt out of that gas station owner's hands. You get style points for that. The aha moment. Yeah, it was an aha because I knew I'd seen her somewhere, and that's where it was. I had another guy, remember, he called one of my clients behind my back and intimidated him over some concessions on a real estate transaction. And then years later, he sent out an email trying to get me to give him a recommendation for something. Like a job, almost like a job reference, but it wasn't a job reference. It was for another transaction. Oh, yeah, I know what I'm going to give. And I did. He won't do that again. It's just one of these things. The stuff comes back around. It was definitely experience. I bet. I bet. I remember when it was just so much simpler with gasoline. First of all, you didn't have any of this point stuff because gasoline cost what it was supposed to, right? Like under $1 a gallon. And now and you just pumped your gas and you went in and you paid and you gave them a $10 bill, which of course filled the entire tank. It was so much better. And now we've got this. I just got a message. Apparently, my mom is watching. She wanted me to tell another story in here. I showed a house that had a grave in the front yard, and I asked the listing agent what the story was on that. He says, "Oh, they're going to dig. That's Grandpa, and they're going to dig him up and take him with him when they sell the house." I kid you not. 21st season of doing this. First time I've ever had that happen. At least that I know of. I can't believe she messaged me and tell me that. She wanted y'all to know that, so there you go. Yeah, Danny Boy says haven't been able to pump gas before paying here in over 20 years, right? That's funny. I was somewhere in the middle of Tennessee here, probably about maybe 5 years ago, and there was a station that you would pump the gas, then go in and pay. And I pulled up to the pumps. I thought, okay, it was a pump that just turned on. It was an old style pump, right? So I'm filling my tank, and this guy comes running out there taking a picture of my license plate while I'm filling up. And I'm looking at him, and I walked in there to pay, and I guess he was just so afraid. But everybody else was too. I guess the rest of them were just locals, and he knew them. But Bigfoots and Mopars used to keep spare change in the Trans Am's ashtray emergency gas fund. Right. That's back when change in the ashtray could put a half a tank in a car. Literally. If you think about it, gas $1 a gallon, small car's gas tank, $5-6 would be half the tank. Right? Literally, a roll of quarters could fill the gas tank. Literally. Should have taken a picture of him too. I don't guess. I guess my phone was on the dash or something, or maybe I just didn't care. He looked like somebody who'd be working in a call center trying to sell me gutter guards or something. No, I was not trying to get permission to frack for oil. That I was not. Oh, but speaking of taking a picture, I was doing another mortgage inspection one time. Same county. I've had most of the problems I've ever had all in this same county. It's a county over from here. This woman, I go to the property, and the house that the bank wanted me to do the report on didn't exist anymore. It was clearly gone. Like, I mean, missing, and the foundation gone, and a hole in the ground where the basement was. They had demolished it, dug up the foundation and all. And I verified this thing on the maps and everything else to make sure I was at the right place. And I went, and there was an RV on the property. And when I went, this woman came running out the door of the RV filming me like she was afraid of what I said. Listen, I got a report from the bank. I even showed it to her. It was on my clipboard. And she, came out with her lawyer on the phone. And it's nutty. Of course, nothing came of it. I was there lawfully. But and what I refrained from saying was, I'm like, why are you paying a lawyer on retainer? You could have used that on your mortgage, but I digress. There's some fun stuff that comes with this occasionally. Raging Cajun is here. How's it going? When I see that name Raging Cajun, I think of the crawfish boil I got to have a while back. I need to go back down there and do that again. It was outstanding. They don't grow crawfish like that around here. Rabbit Transit J, howdy. He says people are strange. Some people are strange. Dean Stevenson says he feels wounded. Okay. Do you resemble that remark, Dean? See, Mohawk is in here. How's it going? Any of you guys have any good Halloween plans? Decorating, parties, trick-or-treating, surviving it, watching scary movies? The worst thing about Halloween is it kind of is the end of the last good month, because November really starts going downhill fast. Notice how all those strange folk are hanging out in the same place? Oh, not hardly. There are strange parallel universes to this one going on. I don't even want to know about them. J-Bo's been working on the 904 for the D50 project. J-Bo, do you have video of that up? Because I would love to see one of those taken apart. Reason is I know that a Neon has a, what is it, a 3031 TH, and it's basically a 904. But when you look at the guts inside of them, they're just different enough that I don't think anything will interchange. I mean, the power flow is exactly the same with the exception of the transfer gears for the front wheel drive. But the pieces aren't quite interchangeable. I would love to see what they put in that one. I bet it's a lot more like a 904 for the older cars. But I don't know. Never been in one. I didn't know that's what they put in them until you told me. Robert Magny says, I have to set the bowl of candy on a chair. My dog goes crazy every time the doorbell rings. Fortunately, Jethro doesn't know what a doorbell is. Doesn't do a thing for him. I see Ari's here. Hey, Ari, you sure created a ruckus this week. Oh, gosh. "6% Recycled is doing a trunk or treat with a few Jeep clubs this Sunday. 1,500 to 2,000 kids. Oh my gosh, on purpose? That's quite a crowd. Rabbit Transit Jay is taking inventory of what he needs to get his duster to the No Name National. See, Jay's already like, yep, the season is already in progress for Jay. Cope's done hundreds of 404s. Well, but Cope, isn't the 404 a front wheel drive? And the Neon, but I was thinking it was a smaller, like I thought the 404s came in like a Caravan or something. You don't have like a 404 parked there at your place, do you? I would love to see and compare what's in one of those. Dizzy Izzy said, I've seen fire and I've seen rain, seen summer days I thought would never end, seen lonely times when I couldn't find a friend. Hey, everyone. Well, hey, Dizzy. Thank you for that lyrical song. Buff's Garage is here. How's it going, Mr. Buff? He got up his No Name Nationals video for subscribers. I saw that. Cultured redneck. He just left Chuck E. Cheese. I'm sorry, man. I'm glad you survived it. Nice. All right, Kyle. This is your year. This is it, Cultured Redneck Garage is Kyle. He's a super nice guy. He's almost got his subs now too, and that is like the guy who I don't know why, but this is gonna be his year. He's gonna do something cool, make a splash at No Name Nationals this year. I just see it coming. Encourage him to do that. He's right there. He's been there each year, but this is his year to come race and show us all how it's done. That guy can do it. Andy says he's glad his Chuck E. Cheese years are over. Evans Mopar's got quite the list for his Charger going. His goal is to get it to No Name Nationals. That will be a car again, Scott. Danny Boyd says, I've never had Chuck E. Cheese pizza. Well, Danny Boyd, if you're ever around here, we'll find a Chuck E. Cheese somewhere and go to it. We might get thrown out, but it'd be fun. Cultured Redneck Garage says, Mike, just do it. Oh, come on, man. I know you're going to do it. I can't believe you wouldn't. You hardly have any subs to go. You've got that licked now. Now it's just time. And he's got some cool stuff. I mean, in addition to that Roadrunner, he's got a sand rail too. And he says you're not missing anything. Barred from Chuck E. Cheese. Well, I mean, it's one of these things. You think about it, Dan. If we haven't been there in half a century and we get banned, how much do you think that's going to affect our life going forward? See? Mopar Al is here. How's it going, man? Buff, tell people, give them a short synopsis of what they're missing if they're not a channel member and watching that video. Glad you're in here. Kyle's saying the pizza was better back when it was showbiz. Okay. He's at 453 subs. He'll make it. Yeah, he will. If you've not yet checked out Cultured Redneck Garage, you need to check out what he's doing on his channel. He and his offspring have been working on the VW and the Roadrunner, and go check it out. Jeremy says that we meet again. How's it going, hippie? Glad you're here. Jeremy just adds positive to anywhere he goes. Really, he does. Whatever the mood is, when he gets there, wherever it is, it's just a little bit higher. He's just one of those people. He's got that ability. See, Bad Tree Blake wasn't watching him, and he sneaked in here. Evans Mopar says AMD's about to drain his pockets. Oh, I bet. It's crazy expensive. Dizzy says my brother-in-law Randy and I got barred from the Country Town Bar for cleaning the place out. Right on. There you go. Nearly an hour of no-name nationals excitement, burnouts, racings, and of course, tire smoking fun, mounting tires with fire, losing tires, ruining trailer rims. Right on. There you go. You know what you can expect from Buff. He does good stuff, so that'll be a good one. J-Bo says, I wish I could go to a Shakey's Pizza. J-Bo, where is Shakey's Pizza? Oh, and grudge race. Oh, and grudge matches and my internet troll race. Buff, you should describe the internet troll race. Not enough to be a spoiler, but enough to tell people what that is. There's LNA Auto Works. LNA Auto Works. Would you tell the A in LNA Auto Works we need a shipping address? Because the A in LNA Auto Works wants some stickers from me and Busted Radio Chris. So if you would, give me a shipping address, sir. I'd appreciate it. I'm pretty sure you got my email. If you don't, it's john@princetondragway.com. Tony hasn't heard of Shakey's in years. I've not either. I've not heard of it at all. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, you've got my email. It's on my channel, LNA. But email me. I just need a place to drop some stickers in the mail to you, man. Well, she's the one that won them. I'm going to send a pair of them, so maybe you can con her out of one of them. We need a 4-door vinyl top class. I'm telling you what, I am all about the vinyl top on cars. These people say they don't like vinyl tops. Man, vinyl tops are class. Yes, you have to keep them inside, but I love them. Well, that's interesting. Buff says he had an internet troll on my channel for the longest time, and he got enough subs to show up to No Name and race. And when he did, I lined up with him. Well, that's exciting. Can almost guess who that is. Cope saying that Calumet City had a Shakey's. Okay. Yeah, 6% recycled. 6% recycled. I turn on, I'm on YouTube and I see his channel. I turn on his live. He's got 998 subs. I'm like, now's the time. Yes, Buff's Garage says we try to find out if he's true to the legendary racer he claims to be. Well, to hear him tell it on everybody else's channel, he is still, even after the event. So there you go. Jeremy's trying to weed out the competition. Jeremy, you don't need to weed out anybody. Man, you do business. you don't need to craft any kind of niche so you can win. That's for sure. Unfinished project said they had a Shakey's, and he was a young one that closed down the building, became a barbecue shop called Where Pigs Fly. The thing about barbecue is you know, it could be really good or really bad or somewhere in the middle. So I never get too excited when I see a barbecue joint that's coming to the area because so few of them are any good. Yankee barbecue is to me what ketchup on hot dogs is to John Cope. Jeremy says Shakey's Pizza or the Wheel. What came first? See, I've never even heard of Shakey's. Danny Boyd says Pizza Hut was good in the 70s. Yes, it was. 1999 was the year, 98 or 9 was the year that Pizza Hut changed the formula and they ruined the cheese. They used to get in real cheese and then they went to some kind of synthetic junk about that year. It was somewhere like 98, 9, 2000, right in there. That was the change. Two Hacks Jeff, when he was a kid, worked at Pizza Hut when they made the change back then. And it used to come in blocks, and then it started coming in some other form, and that was the ruination of it. And Pizza Hut has gone down ever since. For those young people in here who don't remember, you old people know exactly what I'm talking about. Pizza Hut used to be a destination. People would take their families, and it was dine in. There wasn't any delivery. It was dine in, and they bring the pan to the table, and you had a jukebox, and Pizza Hut was legit. That's how it used to be. And now it's become this place. It's like a kiosk that does pan pizzas and just Pizza Hut of today is not Pizza Hut of the 70s and 80s or 90s for that matter. Max Wedge Dick Dastardly is asking Hippie, a tunnel ram with 2,000 CFM cars made more power and torque than single four. Yeah, why wouldn't it? Jeremy says 2X worked there, but the only size of pie you could get was a small. Blake liked the extra grease, the deep dish. Oh, yeah, the deep dish was where it was at back then. I don't think you can get a pizza like that anymore from Pizza Hut. They sure don't. To my knowledge, they don't bring out the cast iron pan and stuff like they used to. That was cool. Buff says in pinball, right. It was jumping. It was a cool place. Our Pizza Hut growing up was in Bluefield on Cumberland Road, and they tore it down, and it's now an MCNB bank today. And it just, there's so many things like that that were cool, and now they're just gone, and there's some soulless replacement there. Just like our parts stores. Now they have Advance, AutoZone, and O'Reilly, right? And they used to have Southern Automotive, Counts Automotive, Balls Automotive, uh, all of these non-franchise stores that still bent and flared hard lines behind the counter and all that. I just kind of hate it when things that are cool like that go away. The mall there used to have a coal car in the middle of the mall and the water features and all of that, and all that's gone now. All of it's gone. And most of the stores are empty. Dean Stevenson says, how many humps does a good camel have, Ari and Buff Del Campo? I'm telling you, the comma in that sentence makes all the difference in the world, Dean. Dizzy worked at Pizza Hut 2 years as a cook, first job in high school. Cheese was a block cut into eighth. Exactly. See, exactly. Dizzy knows exactly what I'm talking about. The cheese came in a block like that. Yeah, see, they quit doing that in about 99-ish, Dizzy. And that cheese was good. It would string. Not what they have now. Pizza Hut's had a volume control for the jukebox. Yeah, well, I don't think ours did, but smaller town, I guess. I don't know. Unfinished Project said we lost Mr. Gray today. Who's Mr. Gray? Bonanza? Ballast Resistor Garage. You talking about the restaurant Bonanza? We had that too. That goes way back. Ours closed in the. I don't even know if ours made it to the 90s. Jeremy was a pizza peddler in the 90s. Jeremy, wouldn't you like delivering pizzas in that green dart if you'd had it then? Wouldn't that have been righteous? I can hear that hippie laugh, just burning tires, up the street, with the box out the window. I could just see that. I could see you making that video right now, actually. Ponderosa. Yeah. Yeah, we had that. I went in the mall in Bluefield, which is the only mall I've been in probably 5 years or more. And I was counting. There are 3 to 5 original stores in there from when they opened in 1980. And that depends if you count successors of the original stores. Any plans for the weekend working on some rentals? It's actually been raining, and I'm not complaining because I got to finish the exterior up with the one I've been working on. And then I'm going to move to another, and I got to do carpet and paint, but it's all inside. The only thing outside is I've got some roof repair to do. Buff said we had a Showbiz pizza. Oh, he was found way under a tire, Unfinished Project said. That's a bummer. Buff says Kim delivered pizzas in a slant 6 dart. There you go. Bad Tree says that freaked him out and I would hide in the ball pit. Blake, you would hide in the ball pit? Where was that? And finishes it was the tortoiseshell kitten's brother. Levi says he'll cover the pizza if Jeremy will do the video. I would love to see that. I can just see hippie deliver pizzas in the green dart. Because the green dart, it's like Jeremy was saying, it's like if somebody took the grandma car and they did everything they could to make it cool, it's like that. But see, it lends itself to being like, okay, Jeremy's car is like the pizza delivery guy's car of the 80s, the way he wishes it was. It would be like the pizza guy had a dream, and in his dream, the car was like Jeremy's with the big tunnel ram and everything. Yeah, Showbiz turned into Chuck E. Cheese. I actually forgotten that until I saw it in the chat here. Put the side by sure. Dizzy loves provolone on his pizza with pepperonis, mushrooms. Sounds good. Cultured Redneck says the ball pit at Showbiz might as well have been a petri dish. Yeah, I'm sure it's disgusting. I am sure it's disgusting. Ballast Resistor Garage says no anchovies. You've seen the movie Can't Buy Me Love them. New Guy's Guitar, what's going on, man? How's it going? Does nothing special, always lurking. How are you? He was on 6% Recycled's live in the dark. That's okay. We knew it was him. There's Technician Troy. How's it going, Mr. Troy? Jeremy says we'll do a pizza delivery driver video. I think that's cool. That'd be cool. Jeremy, this place I'd trained firearms we had 4 places where we would go eat in the town. You go to Chinese, you go to the Mexican joint. One of them's escaping me, but one of them was the Marina. And the Marina was, oh yeah, Good Wings, and then the Marina. The Marina was like the bar fight place. Every time we went there, we're just like, well, we know we're fine because there's a group of us and our reputation precedes us. We know we'll be okay, but we're thinking, man, it's one of these places that at any time it can just break loose in there. They had fights that place all the time. It was the Marina. So anyway, going there reminds me of Jeremy. Make sure your first delivery is to J-Bo. Well, that'd be entertaining. Technician Troy is going well, waiting on an engine from the machine shop so I can build my Blazer. Jeremy says that's the guy we all have to be nice to. That is correct. You should be nice to your machinist. I agree. Be nice to your machinist, the people that fix your food. Should be nice to everyone unless they really demand that you not. And then in that case, don't do it halfway. There's LB Bruin 79. What's going on, Vince? Glad you're here. Wings are a big ripoff. Yeah, I agree. Some people are just crazy about wings. I never have been. But the Good Wings is a play. I like Good Wings, the establishment. They actually have pretty decent pasta there. So the boys get the wings. That's what I get. Big TVs, nice, clean. It's real close to town. But the one thing they don't like about it is it doesn't serve alcohol, which I could not care less about. Danny Boyd says power shifting with someone's pizza in the car. There you go. Unfinished project. Put up the links to LB Bruin 79. Vince the Prince. Vince is a cool guy. And I've got to fix this, by the way. So I put this here because it was the only place it would fit. I got this really cool program from Carlisle that's been MIA practically for a couple of months behind Joe's poster. I've got a poster frame over here to put it in. I'm going to move the poster over here. But I got that first year for the Mopar Nationals at Carlisle from Vince. One of the first things I put in this office. There's a lot of cool things in this office that have come from this community. That came from Mopar Den. This came from Auto Salvage Outlaws, which in this format here, you can't, but when I'm not in a format with 2 or 4 people or something, you can see that really well. It's about a 50 model Ford truck, the American flag in it. Of course, these contributions here are from things that have blown up. Big Block 402. This quote from Joe here. Austin Whistling Diesel over there. Most everything in here has been contributed from someone. There's Frank McCart Rivet and F100. Joe on a wanted poster. Joe needs one for the right combo of engine and trans. Joe's getting close. I believe he's going to have some new and improved cope goodness in a 727 that will solve his woes. I think, if I recall correctly, he had a low reverse servo that was coming apart in it. That was the biggest of the problems they found in that transmission when they did the autopsy. And the cope ones are billet, so there's a lot of things that'll solve. Junkyard D is here. What's going on, man? Junkyard D used to deliver pizza and a movie on VHS in a 69 Barracuda. I was faster than Netflix. Right on. Do you have a picture of that? If you have a picture of that, I'll put it up. Joe's doing it to it? Yes. Joe does it to it. And his brother, who has always been the cameraman, you see him in the water box and all that on Joe's videos, he's going to be taking a little more visible role on the channel this year. And he's building the silver car, which is pretty gnarly. They are going to be a duo to be reckoned with this year. LB Bruin says, unfinished project. You and I need to talk on the phone. Yeah, good luck with that. Why don't you ask him to do a Zoom call with you while you're at it? Yeah, Junkyard D, if you can, put up a picture on your community tab or something like that, and I'll share it. That's cool. I think that's neat. UP doesn't live that far from me. No, he doesn't. I know where he is. I have heard several wild conspiracy theories as to who Unfinished Project is. I don't even think I've told Unfinished Project some of the funny stuff I've heard with what people believe as to his identity. Twisted Mopar Dennis, you're going to Havana next year? Levi says, next year, don't wish my time away. How am I doing that? I'm not wishing your time away. You talking about the orange paper? It's coming ready or not. Unfinished Project lives in corn country, if I'm not mistaken. I wouldn't call it that. He lives in ninja country. He's our resident ninja. He's so stealth and sneaky. Jeremy's headed out. Later, man. Thanks for swinging by. Bad Tree Blake is brewing up a good power plant for the pumpkin. It's going to be exciting. Probably going to get a good bit of time off of that car. J-Bo put a new windshield in the $500 97 Ram. $40 saddle, $10 horse. I bet. Hey, there's Jure Racing. What's going on? Corn country like Hee Haw. No. There's Sam Mountain Ballistics. What's going on, Hunter? Glad you're here. Levi said, you said the JMJ gang was going to be a force at No Name Nationals this year. That means I'm a year behind. Don't ever underestimate Joe. I can tell you that. Bring it, Levi. I want to see Levi throw down a 5. Jeray's bringing, he's going to the track tomorrow with the Fiesta for the last track day of the year. Well, that's cool. Kim Fixes Things enters the chat. Pure Pontiac Garage. Blake says nobody cares, Ricky. No, I care. I think it's cool. Ricky, you've not run a 7 with that car, have you? That's what I was watching. You were about a 10th off of hitting a 7 in that thing. Yeah, running a 7 on that little roller skate. It's pretty good stuff. There's Dakota's timeout. How's it going, Dakota? Glad you could make it. They let Dakota stay up past 9 o'clock now. So Jerry's been an 8 flat. Ricky's been an 8 flat. Okay. So you've not put up a 7 yet, but you will. Yeah, already says close. Things won't stay together. That's all right. You keep plugging away. You're going to get it. Levi's close. Him and Hunter are never far behind each other. No. Both of them put on a great show at the No Name Nationals. And I really hope we'll have both of those brothers back in 2024. All right, Jeray's planning mid-11s in the quarter next year. Big change is coming. Right on. So the question I'm going to ask you is, what are you going to break first? Because most of the time when people try to go that quick with a front-wheel drive, they start breaking stuff. I went to college with the guy who at one time had the quickest all-motor Honda Civic in the country. And that's, of course, long been surpassed. But it was funny because I remember he said, he walks up to the teacher and says, oh, man, I need to reschedule my final exam. Teacher says, well, why is that? He says, well, I'm racing. He's trying to articulate to the teacher why it's so important that he needed to make this event. Levi's looking for mid-5s next year. Right on. Love it. Ooh, the one-eyed cat says he raced Hunter at the No Name Nationals and now wants a piece of Dakota. Ooh. That'll be cool. Levi, are you going to do a bracket race with Dawn? We'll see Dawn leave. We'll see Dawn get pretty close down there, and Levi's got to try to freight train around him. Levi says mid-11s, and that thing's hauling, loves the folks. Yeah, I think it's cool. Gerace is not going to break anything. Fastest Fiesta goes 9s. Easy to go 11. Okay. We'll see. Frank McCart, Rivet and F100 says, not familiar with eighth mile time. What time is what an 11-second quarter mile car? Mid 11s, you're in the sevens. But here's the thing. Every quarter mile has an eighth mile time on the slip. Everybody running quarter should know what their car runs in the eighth because every quarter mile pass starts with an eighth mile pass. I've never understood why they act like that's such an unknowable mystery. It's like not knowing your 60-foot or something because you run on a different track. No, if you run on the quarter, you do run on the eighth. It's right in the middle of your time slip. Me and Dakota might be closer, do you think, next year? We'll see. That might be a good race. Sam Mountain Ballistics is making changes. I'm telling you, that's something I noticed a lot from last year to this year. Everybody wanted to be a little quicker than they were in 2022. So I would not at all be surprised to see a lot of people being quicker in 2024 than they were this year. Sam Mountain missed the conversation. We were talking about how Dakota outran you all day long, and you were just singing the blues chasing Dakota. I'm not following you there, Levi. Unfinished projects got quite a stash of parts for the Dart Sport clone. Brian ran the same time as 2022. Yes, he did. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. As long as you come and have fun and you're safe and all that, it's all good. But you guys got plenty of opportunity to keep working on that little match race there in that rivalry. Dust Devil says nowhere to go but up. Right on. Copes has never paid any attention to the 8th mile ET. Mr. Wheel stands. That's all happens in the 8th. Sam Mountain Ballistics says, I'm in the process of losing about 2,000 pounds. What are you doing, cutting the car in half with a bandsaw? Surely you're not going to cut that car up. You're going to take the other one, the one that's for parts, allegedly. You're going to take that one and lighten it up? No, that would be pretty cool. Ron said, get something from the concession stand before I had to leave. You could. Well, if you think about it, Ron's the one that's down there calling people to the lanes. He would know. He's actually the one running the calls to the lanes. So that's pretty safe. Vince, I don't know that I'm tracking. Unity Motorsports says, I'm used to 8th because down south is all we have. Well, that's, when you have these cornfields that have unlimited room, I mean, you see a more quarter mile tracks. We have a lot more 8th here. But 8th is really what the world is going to. California just opened 2 more 330-foot tracks. And there's a couple of 330s, or there's a 300 to 330 around here. Those shorter tracks are common, and events are going to them. LB, think with you're talking about my road runner. What happened to that was I'm still working on this house, and I'll send you a picture here a little later if you remind me. The house is getting really close, but it has taken all of my time and all of my funding. And so in 2022, I had a choice. Roadrunner, House, No Name Nationals. I could keep any two, but I could not have all three. So, of course, the Roadrunner could sit and wait. The House could not, the No Name Nationals could not. Pretty much just that simple. Heavens Mopar's right on. My goal was just to get to No Name Nationals. Then I'll think about being quicker later. Right, that's the right answer. I mean, people worry about the first showing and they put too much on the plate and don't make it. Just make it stop and start and steer first. You can make it faster later. Dust Devil says eighth's better on insurance along with other things. On paper, everything is better about the eighth. I can probably give you 20 reasons that the eighth is better. I like quarter mile tracks. Got no problem with that. But there's just so many reasons that eighth is great. Levi dialed a 650 to run against, I guess that's Tim's van, 11 something, 318 wheel run. Dean said, just made the Dodge van your house. No, I mean, I've got several different dwellings, but I don't need to make the van a house. I've slept in it a few times. It's pretty comfortable, but J-Bo lives his life an eighth of a mile at a time. Even when he goes in for his colonoscopy, he tells us about eighth mile of hose, right? Right, J-Bo? I got to tell you, if anybody would have ever told me that I would have listened to an entire 30-minute story about a colonoscopy visit from J-Bo, I would have said, there's no way. I would have lost that bet. J-Bo's a great storyteller. Quarter mile tracks give you another eighth to catch up. Doesn't everybody who races quarter mile race eighth too? Don't you start your quarter mile race with an eighth mile race? Blake said, didn't know their camera could reach an eighth mile. Oh, Buff's van. Okay, because Tim's van was running. He actually was high tens this past year. He was a little quicker than he was last year. So Buff was about what he was last year. Okay. 48 inches. Oh, gosh. Are you for real? That camera really? Oh my gosh, I won't sleep tonight. Yeah, it gives you an error for that. Yeah, that's probably more like it, Dennis. Twisted Mopar gives you an error for the distance, right? You have more room to make up for error. Well, in fairness, in the quarter, I probably would have caught Polito. I was catching him every gear change and just ran out of track where I left on a sundial. So takes me an eighth mile to get out of first gear. You must have airplane gears in your cars, Vince. Only for turbo cars? Yeah, that's true. Roadrunner, no kidding. I was looking at the Roadrunner today. Jethro and I were out in the backyard. 300-foot track. Yeah, there's a 300-foot track north of here in West Virginia, and there's a 330 in Kentucky. That's a thing, I'm telling you, and people love it. If you think about it, you can run some really gnarly cars there that never get that fast because they don't have the room. But you can still put on sensational wheel stands. The gear jammer action the first 300 feet is wild. So, I could see 330-foot track being great for gear jammers. No, Blake, I actually really like eighth mile. I like quarter mile too, but I really like eighth mile. The 330 is just a thing. I don't know. I've never actually been to a race for 330, but they're getting more popular. I guess because of space and cost and insurance and all that stuff. Unfinished projects is what color was the Roadrunner board with? I believe it was a green. Um, it looks lighter than F8. I'm not sure, but it's a green. It has some orange in the door jamb, though, but I'm pretty sure that orange is some, I don't know what that is. Colleen has fallen asleep. I don't blame you. I'd put me to sleep too. Danny Boyd thinks the Roadrunner's dark. Well, most of it is. The fender on the left front, if that you've seen in the picture, is not the fender that goes on it. It doesn't match. Dizzy Izzy says, thanks to all y'all that voted for my Drive Line Down award. Hey, right on. Thought you were a worthy recipient of that. Yeah, he saw the reddish orange on the cow. Exactly. I thought that car might have been orange. But the more I look at it, the more I think it is green. I lifted the weather stripping on the left quarter panel because before I was going to plunk down anything for it at all, I wanted to make sure it was a real Roadrunner. I'm pretty sure that green is factory color. Blake says that I'm such a diehard eighth miler, I turn bolts an eighth at a time. Well, actually more like a sixth at a time because they have hex heads. Well, if I ran 8-point bolts, you can always pave them longer. Yeah, but Levi, the problem is you have to move a mountain literally to do that here. That's the problem. Fender tag. No, I didn't get a fender tag with that thing, man. The car's legit. I found plenty of legit VINs on it. I have yet to go exploring under the back seat to see if I can find a broadcast sheet on it, but it's a legit Roadrunner. I can tell it's a non-AC car. Levi, they did literally move a mountain here to build a track. Bristol, they literally dynamited half a mountain away to get that track in. Yeah, I think quarter mile's cool. I like watching the fuel cars in the quarter mile. Well, 1,000 feet. See, even they don't go a quarter mile anymore. But I'll tell you, watching the fuel cars, man, they're hitting 300 miles an hour at the eighth mile now. It's pretty wild. Danny Boyd, I've been to a race or two in Bristol, but the most impressive thing is when you're in the infield at Bristol, just even on foot and look up at those banks. I've driven around the banks a couple of times, obviously not in a race or anything, but man, it's pretty wild. I've driven around them a few times when they were 36 degrees. Now, there was some debate whether they were 36, but I'll tell you what, whether they were 30 or 36 or 32 or whatever they were steep. When you were on them, you knew, right? And when you're going around them at low speed, it feels wonky. I'm sure at high speed, you're more centered in the seat because you got centrifugal force. But going around them at low speed just feels weird. Yeah, the Levi, I'm just the as far as the color goes on it, I just thought it was interesting. You have no idea how much I don't care what a car show person thinks about the paint on that car. Yeah, Blake, I read that. You guys are getting a NASCAR racer. I figured you'd be going to that. That sounds really cool. Unfinished project. There's stuff around here. It's just unreal with that. You would not believe how high some people will stack the dry stack piers on mobile homes from one end to the other to level them out. It just is frightening. I have seen them over a story up. I don't know how anybody ever approved that and got a building permit or certificate of occupancy with dry stack piers more than 8 and 10 feet on one end. That just seems reckless to me, but they do. They stack them up and they tie them down. Truck blowers at Bristol are regulated at a certain speed. It'll slide down the track. Yeah. Oh yeah. I would imagine, and I've not gotten that slow. I would imagine if you got down really slow, you probably would start having some trouble. But when you're standing in the infield looking up at it, you would just, there's no way a car could drive around that. Seriously, when you're facing it, it looks like a wall. I'm not kidding. It looks like a wall. I was in the infield at Charlotte a few years back, and I just had to walk up it. And so I did. And it's pretty steep. It's, when you're walking up it, you don't look behind you, okay? You just don't want to do that. But when you're walking up it, it's pretty steep. So you just keep looking at the wall and climbing up and climbing up and climbing up till you get to the wall. And go down it backwards. Don't turn around and go down it forward. And that's at Charlotte. And Charlotte's like 24 degrees. Bristol was advertised as 36, old Bristol. Now, I've never tried to walk up Bristol, uh, but it just looks like a wall of concrete in front of you. If you were standing there in the infield and cars were coming, you would think they would just have to fall on you. They say Daytona's, well, Daytona's 30 degrees, and Bristol was 36, top to bottom. And then at Bristol, they went to 30 and 24. So they basically changed the grade and made it stepped in the middle. So it's 24 and 30. But what it did was, as much as people like the really crazy fishbowl look of 36, I must admit the 30 and 24, two grooves with 6 degrees difference in the banking, it really did make two distinct grooves for racing there. And the racing is better. And I've had people boo me for saying that, but the truth is the racing at Bristol with the staggered banking is better. It did look a little wilder with the old banking, though. Now, I'll tell you where the banking looks like nothing is Martinsville, because it is. That banking is lame. It's, what is Martinsville, 9, maybe 12 in the corners, if that. Dizzy, I've heard that too, but I can tell you for a fact that's definitely not true. I have driven around old Bristol at about 35 or 40, and I did not slide off or turn over. Talladega is 33. It's slightly more than Daytona, but it's not as much as old Bristol. Hey, actually, that's true. Talladega probably does have the most banking now. Martinsville may as well be flat. It's pretty close. It doesn't have much banking. It has a little, but it's not much. Martinsville's a neat little track. It's really hard on equipment, though, because Martinsville's basically 1,000 drag races connected by turns to end. Unfinished project has seen climbers sleep in hammocks on vertical rock walls. The wildest thing with vertical climbs I've seen, and I don't know how long, and I've seen it right here on YouTube. Uh, these goats, that would climb the face of Hoover Dam. It is frightening watching these things climb this wall face, but they can climb this really, really steep grade just barely on the edges of their hooves, and you know that some of them got to fall and just turn into a milkshake at the bottom. But I'm telling you, you should just see it. You just have to see it. Look for goats crawling on the face of Hoover Dam on here. You got to see it. I don't know if it's Hoover now that I think about it, but it's definitely a reservoir somewhere that was really, really steep. Yeah, and these goats were climbing it, and it was wild. There are dead ones at the bottom, I have no doubt. I mean, one stiff breeze, they're gone. And the little baby ones, like you see the mama and these little baby goats running up there, and it just looks like they're on a flat wall. It's almost so steep. They don't show you that part. Yeah, I don't want them to. Dan, hey Dan, go check it out and report back. I want to see the Danny Boyd review of that. Mexican Spec, how's it going? Clint Street Machines, indirect connection. Howdy, gentlemen. Yep, Bonite Cats is Talladega's 33, Daytona's 31, Bristol 30, right. Bristol was 36. So it slipped from first to third, and Daytona is now in the lead. Mexican Spec says, who hasn't watched the video of my 1999 Ram Charger? I haven't. I take it Scott went and looked at that. Scott, those goats are making almost as steep a climb as you will to get your car done. Just saying. Okay, see? Danny Boyd says it's stone masonry. Yeah. Well, okay, but it's crazy steep, Dan. It's crazy. Crazy steep. What these guys are talking about. Dark green, blue, something, something. There we go. Unfinished project. Put up the link to Mexican Specs Ram Charger. Check it out. Woo. I got to tell you, Dan, I wouldn't be climbing it. I know somebody who would. I wouldn't be. There's a fella I sold property to here, and he has a climbing gym in it. And he's like a real life Spider-Man. That guy can climb, and he teaches it and all of that stuff. And one thing, like all climbers, that guy's got a grip that can crush a walnut. It's just unbelievable the grip that guy has. And that makes sense. Climbers have the most amazing grips of anybody. This guy does for sure. I saw a thing. One of the channels I like checking out on here is a guy named Nick Simmons on YouTube. And he does these challenges. He goes around these university towns, mostly out in Oregon where he is, but he travels a little bit some. And he'll do these challenges like, pick up some crazy heavy dumbbell to win $100 or something like, a deadlift or a bench press, challenge, something to win $100 or something like that. He had one of them one time where he had a dumbbell that was designed to where it would, of course, roll out of your grip. And the key to the whole thing was grip. And I'm like, yeah, that's one for a rock climber. If he did that here, I'd say, hey, send your rock climbing buddies over while supplies last. You're going to clean this guy out of cash. Unfinished project, just put up the link to the goat climbing wall. Yep, check it out. Wild stuff. With my luck, my fingers would get stuck in the holes. Yeah, maybe. There are 4, well, at least when I was here. I don't know what it is now. But there used to be 4 walls at Virginia Tech that you were allowed to climb on the sides of buildings. Because the buildings here are made of what's called Hokie stone. And I don't know what kind of rock it is, some kind of limestone or something. They call it Hokie stone, and they mine it here. There's a quarry, down the eastern part of this county. And 4 of the sides of the buildings, they allow you to climb. And it's interesting. I've actually not lately, but I have tried a few of them before, and you get up to a certain height, and there's plenty of room to grip stuff, but then you're like, man, I'm too concerned about the way down to try to go any more up. That's where you get with it. Just Mopar Joe in the house. How's it going, Mr. Joe? Thanks for joining us. T's Good Time Garage appears when Joe does. Look out. The rematch is brewing already. I wouldn't be surprised if a bounty shows up on T. He comes all that way east and runs out of there with taking his kill to the cave in the bank. Danny Boyd has a 22-foot ladder for that. There is nothing in this universe I could ever use a 22-foot ladder for. I wouldn't care if I needed to reach it or not. One-Eyed Cat wants to consult on camshafts with Joe. There you go. Heights are not my thing, Mexican Spec says. It's not the height that bothers me. It's the having unstable footing at height. Like, it doesn't bother me to go up like parasailing. And that's, what is that, 300 feet up? If you fall, you die. The height's not the problem. The problem is having that unstable footing, knowing that anything can knock you off of it. Like, I don't mind flying, window seat. I don't mind being up on the flat part of the roof on the back of the house, and hanging over it, working on the steep part. I just don't want to be where my feet will slip. Joe says he'll put $100 bounty on T if somebody will give him $200 if he beats him. Well, there you go. There's something. There's B&R Racing. How's it going, B&R? B&R, are you going to get some shirts made that say where every day is doomsday? I think I remember suggesting that last year. I think you liked that idea, if I recall. Yeah, Clint said had balance and all that. The height didn't bother me. Now he wouldn't want to fall. I never want to fall out of a chair. Scott says nothing worse than a 40-foot ladder with a breeze comes your way. Oh, I bet. I bet. Izzy says it's not the falling, it's the sudden stop at the end. Well, Levi's trying to put a bounty up. You guys save that, because here's what we're going to do. We'll do another live about the bracket here before too long. And All you guys can come in and we'll codify some stuff. It's not the sudden stop at the end that worries me at all. I won't remember it. The terror of the fall would be worse than the sudden stop at the end. The sudden stop at the end, you're not going to know a thing. BNR is saying Mad Max 2024. Like that better. Fitting for the times. Ukraine, Taiwan, Israel now also. Well, BNR, knock yourself out. That would be interesting. No, didn't even realize my phone was croaked out. I can't keep a phone battery all day. Sounds like Blake might be saved by the dead battery. I got a shot at it. I think Blake's saved by the bell. I don't have a free USB, so can't make that happen. Never relaxed about hitting the ground hard. Yeah, well, don't get up in the air and worry about it. The 80s version of me being 40. Young people, you see how decayed we get when we turn 40? Leave it to Dean Stevenson to bring up Andy Warhol on this live. Peckerwood Custom says it's a long way down for me, I bet. No, Blake, just he texted to me. I don't have any way to even move it from here. And screen share on this computer gets dicey. BNR Racing will race the No Name Nationals 2024 unless Russia launched them. There we go. We need to leave this up because we just need to know that the nukes could fly. Let's see here. Well, wow. If I can bring that up on my phone. If I can, I'll share that. I'll get that here in a minute. Yeah, 4 wars going on at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot going on right now. Isn't it interesting? I know one thing, though. All these people that try to make a claim that we don't need guns and we don't need an AR 15 and we don't need certain size magazines, tell that to the people in Israel. I've never seen a better case. Heavens Mopars, can you explain your thoughts behind your thumbnail for this live? If you know, you know. If you were here at 4 o'clock, you know. Thumper says, if the nukes exchange, I plan to be a feral ghoul. Thanks for telling us about your carpet, Joe. Appreciate it. And telling us that Dennis's is nicer. Clint, what's you working on that Street Freak anymore? That wild looking Subaru? Dean says, or BNR says, Dean Stevenson, big cubic inches work at No Name Nationals 8th Mile. Just factory stock roller cam in his 454 Gen 6 engine. Unfinished projects as if the nukes exchange. I plan to be a survivor and repopulate the world. Dart sport. That's the new war cry of the rebuilt world. We would have an entire population of people hiding behind fences so we don't know what they look like. Heavens Mopar is working on 1,000 subs. Yes, he is. Heavens Mopar is working on some good stuff. Well, there's Fabre Smodry Pete. Hello from Northeast Dragway. How are you doing, sir? BNR said, I thought all Israel citizens were armed. You would think if you lived there, I don't know how anybody can live there considering the history of that place and not have already been, but apparently. Okay, here it is. This is, here we go. I got to get rid of this first, do this justice. This is Blake's handiwork here. So did you know that 40-year-old Joe wrote this book? Isn't that awesome? It's like the This Old House of L.A. Mopars. Look at that. Look at him put that distributor in as he looks to the side with great concern. Like, what am I going to put in this Chilton's manual next? I can't make it look like I'm too worried about the mechanical advance. So I'm going to coolly look to the side like I'm teaching a class of youngsters. See? Blake said, should I do more dock moving videos or stick to junk cars? I think any of that stuff you do is cool, Blake. I love the stuff you show from the marina. I think that's neat. I really enjoyed the live you did that morning from the marina. I thought that was cool. Just cool and different. I want to do some live streams on here about stuff that has nothing to do with cars. Looks locked out to me. I don't know. Let's see. The look here is. See, okay. I don't know if it's the shirt or the look, but it's like league bowling's tonight. You know, can't tell. Clint says, I have that book. Wonder if Joe should sign it. Yeah, I think so. I got Joe to autograph some wanted posters for me this year. He might if you ask him nicely. Hey, Joe, Don English is about to worry his chair into a state of toothpicks about this cam. You should holler at him. Hey, I can do eyes or hands very well. Well, I don't know. I think that's a great photo. See, what do you think? Should that be blown up and put here? Well, how does the wanted poster look with this image? She doesn't have quite the same effect, does it? This looks more like we're going after Kenny Loggins or something. I think that works better for that one. I was just going to say, be glad Cope doesn't have this image. Oh, too late. Boom. Okay, Joe says that it's a pre-COVID Lunati voodoo cam. Yeah, that's a good cam. Don, that would be sweet for your recipe. There you go. Ari says John Cope's ketchup-proof Chicago wieners. Yes, that will be correct. I got to tell you, of all of the individual minutes that I was standing still in Sykeston, one of those minutes was to stop to have a Chicago hot dog with my friends in Cope's Pit without ketchup. Maybe do a firearms target practice with John Wilburn like days for the No Name Nationals 2024. I can tell you, BNR, if I had, I'll tell you, if 10 or 12 YouTubers want to put a class together and you want to do it a day or so before, like if you want to do it on the Monday or something or the Tuesday, I'm game. We can do it. Dean, I am a trainer. We can do that. I've taught hundreds and hundreds of people to shoot and shoot better than how they did. David James is asking a question. This is a good toss-up for the crew here. Can I run 2 coils in series, extra spark for more fuel? How would you run 2 coils in series? J-Bo says they missed the hot dogs. They were good, J-Bo. They were really good. Authentic stuff, too. Poppy seed bun, no ketchup, had mustard. They were good. Yeah, Dennis, missed out on the world famous Cope hot dog. Yes, you did. Sounds like I need to book a week. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm dead serious, and I haven't even thought about this yet, but I've taught firearms since 2009, okay? Credentialed, insured, all that stuff. And if you guys want to put together a legit training class, and you want to do that, say it would have to be, I guess, the Tuesday before the No Name Nationals, because Wednesday is set up all day. It would have to be that Tuesday. I would come down a day early and we could do that. Ooh, Blake is telling it like it is. But I'm for real. If you want to do that, we can do that. I've got a fleet of loaner Glocks, and I'm pretty sure I could work out having space there to shoot, and we could do it, and we could film it, and it'd be a lot of fun. And of course, I would tailor this class to this group, so we would have a little bit of fun, friendly competition in it, and stuff like that. But I think it would be fun. It would be great content, because to see all of you YouTube car channels doing this, I think would be a lot of fun. Be different for sure. Peckerwood, in America, you are an honorary American. You can shoot and come out, and yeah, you're all good. Infamous Nova, how's it going, man? Good to see you. I see you float through on rare occasion. Infamous Nova says now they have 500 subs. No Name Nationals is over. Well, dude, if you sign up early and you get in the community and people, you start networking, you get the subs a lot quicker. But now that you have the 5, guess what? You got a massive head start on 2024, man. Make it happen. Ari says I'm a half decent pistol marksman. I can probably show you things that will make you a better pistol marksman. The idea is that you get something from the class. And the more training you have, usually it's a smaller thing that you get to work on and refine. Yeah, we'll take good care of you, Aaron. Danny Boyd says the only time I ever got to fire a handgun, there was nothing to shoot at and it was dark. Then why were you firing the handgun? You're supposed to know what you're shooting at, right? That's a big Rule 4 violation. Yeah, Joe's talking about the wasted spark. Right. Spray and pray? No. But I would imagine, I've never taught a class for YouTubers before, but man, we could have some fun stuff at it. I can tell you that. Because I have a feeling I know some of the fun stuff that we would do in there. And it'd be great content. But that's a lot of time away from home, a lot of time gone, a lot of time doing stuff. Man, people be worn slap out before Saturday even gets here. So think about it. But if enough of you are willing to, I'm willing to. I could probably talk to Mayor Possum and line up some ground that works, if assuming we go back there. But I could work it out. 38 POS Racing is here. Dougster says, I can't hit the broadside of a barn with a pistol. I can absolutely fix that. Revolver's like a K-frame. No problem. Unfinished projects says, I have a feeling I'd avoid that get-together like the plague. Well, I'm used to having a group of people like that, but I have a feeling with some of the personalities we have here, it would be kind of a wild, feral class, especially because you guys don't know me as an instructor. When I have people sign up whom I don't know, and that's how they know me, they usually are better behaved. Don got to practice with a 45 and an M60. Cool. Sounds like a lot of fun. Dad got to put a lot of miles on the M60. Before I die, I want to shoot a minigun. I thought I was going to get my chance a couple of years ago at Knob Creek, and it was the last shoot there, and the guys were not letting other people shoot the miniguns. Like, man, there's two of them here. I'm that close, and I can't shoot one. But I'd like to. It's on my bucket list. When I was 10 years old and the movie Predator was in the theater, I'll never forget Max shooting the minigun at the Predator. That whole movie stood still when he started firing that 6,000 round per minute minigun. And I'll never forget that sound. And I want to shoot a minigun before I die. I might even have a video of the minigun on here. Never thought about it. Let me look and see. Ooh, I think I do. Now I've got stills. I don't have any video. No. Eh. No, I don't. Bummer. Took it off of here. Clint wants to fire an artillery piece if he ever gets the chance. Can understand that. Dizzy's talking about shooting shotguns. I got to tell you, Um, one of the most fun classes to shoot is a shotgun class. But man, does it ever beat you up. Both your shoulders will be black. But it is a lot of fun. You shoot a lot of steel and, you know, skip shooting and select loads and, swapping off for slugs at distance. And if I was going to pick a hierarchy of training for adults, not children, I would say handgun first, then the rifle, then the shotgun. Because the shotgun takes the most amount of thought to run it. So you want to get the other stuff down before you start running your shotgun, because so much of it is loading and thinking about the loads. For children, I recommend something like a Ruger 1022 first, and then the handgun. T2 Predator and Pulp Fiction. Yeah. Joe, you were what, 6 when Pulp Fiction came out? Full Metal Jacket. Yep, right on. Blake says 870 Remington should be required at birth. That's my go-to shotgun. Although I gotta say, the Mossberg 590 is truly an excellent piece. You've ever gotten popped in the lip from a sling on a shotgun? You know, the Mossberg moves that out of the way. And I've gotten dinged in the upper lip a couple of times with a shotgun sling mount. Because on the shotgun, even though they're long and heavy, I like a single point sling because I don't want anything getting in the way of the pump. Dean Stevenson has tried doing it at Broad Bay near is that Vauxhall? Is that how you say that? It sounds extremely foreign to me. Yeah, Dizzy's talking about the Kentucky shoot-off competition. Are you talking about at Knob Creek? Because that's where I was in 2021. Fort Knox, Kentucky. Oh, yeah, traded for RTC scholarship. Cool, man. Got to shoot a grenade launcher, yeah. Remington 1100 shoots great. Yeah, they're good shotguns. I like the pump shotgun. I like the 870 a lot. The Mossberg 590. There's things about the 590 I really like. Like the safety on the 590 is up top. And so your thumb is up top where the shotgun really should be. And on an 870, it's around the side. And so on an 870, I like the extended safety button on it so that you could push it off, because otherwise you're kind of fishing into the trigger guard. Truthfully, the Mossberg did a better job, and it's truly ambidextrous because it's right on the top. Mossberg has a little bit bigger trigger guard, which is helpful if you have gloves on. They're both great guns, though. The best thing you can do on a shotgun is to put an XS Big Dot sight on the front. And you use JB Weld. Imagine that. Vanillis are great, Clint. Vanillis are great. They're also really expensive. Had an 1187 duck gun, yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Blake. When I showed up for my my shotgun instructor cert, I actually brought a pump gun with double aught buck, 18-inch barrel. They said, there's no way you're going to hit clay targets. I said, well, I at least want to try. And I did hit enough to pass. I think I had to have 70% to pass, and I got it. I would have done better if I'd have shot something semi-auto with a long barrel. And they offered it to me. I said, I just want to try it. I did it. Who likes muzzle loaders? I don't have much experience with them. I know a friend of mine that was a lawyer. He loved the black powder stuff and muzzle loaders, and I got to shoot some with him. It's fun. They are fun. JB Weld for the rod bearings, Joe says. Yeah, right on. Twisted Dennis says, having been a police officer, even more type of weapons. Yeah. Dizzy says, got an 870 ultralight too, but shoot one all day and you'll be sore for 2 days. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the lighter the gun, the more recoil that you're absorbing. The heavier the gun, the more recoil it is absorbing. Here we go. I got to put this one up. We got to have our B&R. I like to put B&R's comments like this up. Ari DeBernia, the Vertex Magneto is the doomsday ignition system. There we go. Danny Boyd says tonight we're going to party like it's $17.99. Right on. J-Bo has a good black powder story in his dad's gun shop. We need to have J-Bo on sometime. We'll have the whole Bad Tree crew on sometime. That's fun. We try to do that like about once a year. We have the guys on. Yep, Tony's getting ready to fire up his live. I usually go live till he does. We're right at our time. We got a minute left. So with that, I'll thank all you guys for showing up. I always block out my Friday to hang out with you guys. It's always a blast. I'm planning on a Halloween-themed live next week, next Friday. And it's been just a blast hanging out with all of you. And with that, Tony will be live here in a few minutes. And I'll see you over there. Y'all have a great evening. Thanks for coming out.